Trump's rhetoric on policies on immigration and citizenship consistently elevate whites, especially European migrants, while targeting non-white communities for exclusion, removal, or diminished political power. His efforts collectively push a racial hierarchy embedded in state policy, formed as security, merit, or rule of law. These measures function to narrow the American electorate and safeguard long-term white Republican dominance. A historical and civil rights-informed assessment of Trump's record characterizes his immigration agenda, Muslim bans, temporary protected status, TPS immigrations, birthright citizenship attacks, and selective refugee admissions as advancing a racialized vision of U.S. society. His slogan, "Make America Great Again," coined to portray himself as the great savior of America, is being used to promote a white supremacist agenda, reflecting the views and desires of the majority of white conservative Republicans. As a deceitful, vindictive, narcissistic, divisive, self-aggrandizing, unpredictable, racist, and authoritarian, he is the perfect conduit to implement it. Indeed, white supremacists cannot achieve their ultimate goal with a president who fully adheres to the rule of law and his oath of office to defend and protect the Constitution. Trump fits the bill. As early as 1973, the Justice Department sued Trump management for systematically denying apartments to Black and Puerto Rican renters. FBI files document instructions to mislead Black applicants on availability and price, reinforcing racial exclusion in housing. Trump needs MAGA to realize his authoritarian ambition, and MAGA needs him to prevent what it perceives as fateful development that America is poised to face in less than 2 decades, which explains why MAGA sticks to Trump. Rooted in MAGA's concern is the fear that in less than 20 years, white Americans will become a minority, and it would be nearly impossible for the Republicans win either the Electoral College or the popular vote to win a presidential election. Consensus-based projections show that non-Hispanic whites are expected to fall below 50% of the United States population around the mid-2040s, with minorities driving virtually all population growth. These projections, widely circulated in conservative media and politics, have fueled anxieties about losing white and implicitly Republican political dominance. To prevent the prospect of non-whites becoming a majority, Trump and his MAGA operatives are scheming and taking concrete action while he is still in power to advance their cause. The notion that such a campaign may not succeed and that it would run counter to every provision of the United States Constitution is of no concern to them. Trump is charging full speed ahead, believing, as is customary to him, that regardless of all odds, he will succeed and that this will be his legacy. The following demonstrate how systematic and barefaced he is in implementing his agenda. 1. In an Oval Office immigration meeting, Trump asked why the United States should take people from shithole countries like Haiti and African nations and said the United States should instead bring in more immigrants from Norway, demonstrating his desire to stop the flow of non-white immigrants and deport existing ones. He further demanded that Haitians be excluded from any immigration deal, directly targeting a predominantly black population for exclusion. 2. Once he reassumed office, Trump issued an executive order to end birthright citizenship, especially for U.S.-born children of undocumented immigrants, which are overwhelmingly black and Latinos, completely violating the 14th Amendment. 3. Trump signed Executive Order 13769 during his first term, banning entry for nationals of 7 predominantly Muslim countries and halting Syrian refugee resettlements, codifying religion and race-based discrimination. 4. The first Trump administration moved to terminate TPS for immigrants from Sudan, Nicaragua, Haiti, El Salvador, Nepal, and Honduras, disproportionately affecting long-settled, non-white communities from Latin America and Africa. This list expanded in his second term, predominantly affecting further Latin Americans and African immigrants. 5. Trump publicly expressed special concern for white farmers in South Africa, directing the State Department to study land and farm seizure and large-scale killing of farmers, aligning himself with a white genocide narrative to justify white refugee admissions. He allowed nearly 60 white Afrikaners farmers to resettle in the United States as refugees, favoring a specifically white population. And 6, Trump told 4 U.S. congresswomen of color, go back to their crime-infested countries they came from, 3 of whom incidentally are born U.S. citizens, weaponizing a classic recent taunt against elected women challenging his MAGA agenda. Regardless of how many immigrants Trump deports and how far he will go to manipulate elections, he will still be unable to change the ultimate outcome that in 20 years, non-white Americans will be the majority. Hispanic and black Americans, fertility and birth rates are higher than those of non-Hispanic whites, whose fertility is below replacement. Deportation or voter manipulation cannot reverse aging white cohorts, lower white fertility, and ongoing diversity among U.S.-born youth. The real awakening of the hardcore white supremacists came when Obama was elected president in 2008. Trump was quick to capitalize on Obama's rise to power, prompting him to a significant degree to run for president in 2015. His campaign slogan, "Make America Great Again," meant exactly that. America cannot be a great country if it is to be governed by non-white Americans. Thus, MAGA's hardcore white supremacists, it is a do-or-die battle. They will go to any length and take any measure, however sinister, unconventional, or even illegal, to prevent non-white Americans from rising to power. So long as Trump is in power, it can be expected that this battle for the survival of white rule in America will become ever nastier and even more violent. The Democrats cannot reverse MAGA's course alone. They must be joined by many patriotic Republicans who see the writing on the wall. Many will put country before party, knowing that in trying to prevent the inevitable, they would plunge America into a social turmoil unseen since the Civil War. Time is of the essence. If there's a moment in time when patriots, Democrats, and Republicans must unite to safeguard America's democracy and ensure the enduring strength of the Republic, that moment is now.